Do you think anyone will ever want to stay? Charlotte whispered to herself, smoothing her emerald dress one last time. The Christmas restaurant glowed with warmth, but she felt cold inside. Another blind date. Another chance to be found lacking. She spotted him immediately. Daniel Ashford, sharply dressed, checking his watch. His daughter, 4-year-old Lily, sat beside him in a tiny red velvet dress, swinging her legs and clutching a teddy bear. Charlotte approached slowly. "Daniel?" He stood, his smile polite but distant. "Charlotte, this is unconventional. My sitter canceled last minute." "It's fine," she said softly, sitting down, but his eyes were already somewhere else, on his phone, on the door, anywhere but her. Lily stared at Charlotte with wide, curious eyes. "You're pretty," she said suddenly. Charlotte's heart warmed. "Thank you, sweetheart. So are you." Daniel barely looked up. Throughout dinner, he answered Charlotte's questions with one-word responses, his attention fixed on emails. Charlotte felt herself shrinking, invisible once again. She'd been here before. Not good enough, not interesting enough. Then Lily tugged her father's sleeve. "Daddy, my tummy hurts." Daniel sighed, frustrated. "Lily, not now." The little girl's face crumpled. Charlotte leaned forward instinctively. "Hey, Lily, do you want to see something special?" She pulled a small origami crane from her purse, something she always carried, a reminder of her late grandmother who taught her that folded paper could hold prayers. Lily's eyes lit up. "It's magic," Charlotte whispered. "Make a wish." Lily held it carefully, then looked at Charlotte with heartbreaking seriousness. Can you be my new mom?" The restaurant seemed to stop. Daniel's face went pale. Charlotte's breath caught. "Lily," Daniel said sharply, embarrassed, "I'm so sorry." But Charlotte saw something in his eyes shift, pain, deep and raw. She understood suddenly. This wasn't about her at all. "It's okay," Charlotte said gently. She turned to Lily. "That's a beautiful wish, sweetheart." Daniel stood abruptly. "We should go. This was a mistake." Charlotte watched them leave, Lily looking back with sad, hopeful eyes. She sat alone among the Christmas lights, feeling the familiar ache of rejection. But something else stirred too, a strange, persistent pull. She asked the waiter about them. "The Ashfords? Regulars. His wife passed 2 years ago. He's been lost ever since." Charlotte's heart cracked open. She left the restaurant, but couldn't leave behind what she'd seen. A man drowning in grief. A little girl starving for softness. 3 days later, Charlotte did something bold. She returned to the restaurant and asked for Daniel's contact. She sent a simple message. "I'd like to try again. No expectations. Just coffee?" His reply came hours later. "Why?" She typed, "Because Lily deserves someone who sees her. And maybe you do too." They met at a park. Daniel looked tired, guarded. "I wasn't ready for that date," he admitted. "I'm not ready for anything." "Then don't be," Charlotte said. "I'm not asking for forever. I'm asking to be present." Over weeks, something unexpected grew. Charlotte showed up, not as a date, but as a presence. She brought books for Lily, listened to Daniel's stories about his late wife without trying to replace her. She learned that Daniel had been so afraid of moving on that he'd built walls around his heart, pushing away anyone who came close. One snowy evening, Lily fell asleep between them on the couch. Daniel looked at Charlotte, his eyes finally clear. "I rejected you that night because I was terrified," he whispered. "Terrified that if I let someone in, I'd be betraying Emma. But you showed me something I've forgotten." "What's that?" asked. "That love isn't about replacement. It's about making room." Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. "I've spent my whole life thinking I wasn't enough. But maybe I just needed to find people who needed what I had to give." Lily stirred, murmuring in her sleep, "Mommy." Daniel and Charlotte exchanged a look. Tender, uncertain, hopeful. "Do you think anyone will ever want to stay?" Charlotte whispered. The same question she'd asked herself that Christmas night. Daniel took her hand gently. "I think the right people already have." Kindness isn't about being chosen. It's about choosing to show up, even when rejected. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is our presence, our patience, and our willingness to see others in their pain. Real connection doesn't demand perfection. It offers grace. Thank you if this story touched your heart. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.